Not standeth in the ways of the sinners, not sitting in the seat of the scornful. And I delight in the last move by the I hear the eyes touch that Jah, Rastafari, Jalado, and I keep both day and night. And I must be like a tree that is planted by the rivers of water. I bring it forth and I fruit and I use it. And I life also shall not wither, whatsoever and I do it must prosper. Then God they are not so, but they are like a chaff that will drive it away. Therefore then God shall not stand in his judgment in the sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the living I hear I Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Let us know the ways of the righteous, the ways of the ungodly. For princes and princesses must come out of Egypt. Ethiopia now stretch forth her hand unto Jah. O thou most wise thy Jah for Ethiopia and thy divine majesty. Hail I, Selassie, and I will tread into thine eye. The path of righteousness lead I. Help I to forgive that I must be forgiven. Each I love loyalty and earth as it is in Mount Zion. Endure I with thy wise mind, none can overstanding to do I will. I bless him to I, O Jah, that the hungry be fed, naked clothed, sick nourished, the aged be protected, and the infant be cared for. Deliver I from the hand of our enemies, that I must go through in these first days. When our enemies are past and decay in the depths of the sea, in the depths of the earth, or in the belly of the earth, O give I a place in thy ever-living kingdom. Through the eye of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. He left of himself and the light of this world. Heal the eyes, Jah, Rastafari. So blessed and I and thankful and I, cause thy ever-living countenance to shine upon thine eye, and I must be free from the hands of Babylon, both now and forever. Heal the eyes. Yeah, I want to just give thanks to everyone being here. I want to give thanks to former Minister Mark Golding and the Minister of Justice, to Delroy. I want to give thanks to you. Unfortunately, we're still setting up, so we don't have a PA system inside here. But I just like ask Barbara to just come in and just, introduce our speakers. And again, as I give thanks to everyone being here, Rastafari RootzFest second year. We look forward to being something very meaningful and beneficial to our people. So again, as I give thanks, especially the former minister and the minister to be here, this, as you know, sacramental right event fall under the Ministry of Justice. And again, Mr. we give thanks for the opportunity that we can be here, can be utilizing marijuana in the way, and we can be educating people about the medical aspect of marijuana. Over the years, we've been accustomed to planting herbs, smoking herbs, but there are things going on in the medical industry internationally that we ought to know about in order to get the maximum benefit out of this emerging medical marijuana industry. So again, I have to give thanks, Barbara. Give thanks for having me here and both you here. So, I think martial ceremony rule. So, give thanks. Right? After we don't put down the
Love, beloved, love, brethren, love, sisters, love. And perfect love and friendship reigns through all eternity. Eternity draweth nigh, so draw nigh to Jah. With the spirit of love he has stirred us to be one in this coming year. All our prayers engaged to do Rastafari's will. For his will is a blessed will, and his will must be done in earth so as it is in Zion. How blessed I am to be here at this place, at this time, at this exact moment, to be given the honor to introduce and to start this historic event. I was here last year, of course, and I'm so glad to see it here again. So much congratulations must go to the organizers, Rastafari being chair. I can't say how impressed I am that they were managed to do this once again this year without the major help that they had last year, but through resources that have come to them as a result of how great last year was. I am truly honored and truly blessed to be given this opportunity. I'd like to welcome the former and the present Minister of Justice. The former Minister of Justice, who became a very close friend of ours because of the hard work he did to make this happen, to make ganja be recognized as a medical benefit and as a sacrament of Rastafari. He worked very hard over many obstacles, many obstacles, and he used his wisdom and his fortitude to make it happen, and I have enough respect for him. Mr. Delroy Chuck happens to be my member of parliament, and someone I've known there for quite a long time, and have enough respect for. Have enough respect for him legally. I have watched his political career for several decades and been impressed with the honesty and judiciousness with which he has conducted all his affairs. Everyone has nothing but respect for this gentleman, and I know that he will carry the flag that Mark Golding has so righteously stepped into the land of Jamaica. He will hold that flag high. Welcome to our gathering.
Yes, man. Give him his respect. Yes.
All of I and I who are here, blessed, faithful soldiers of Jah, me love you, you see, me love you. May this be a strengthening, an even greater strengthening of our ambitions. May we go further through the guidance of our blessed Ras IFV, the soldier who has carried the Rasta battle for ganja legalization and carried it nobly and well and legally and with wisdom. I give him nothing but respect to the highest. Thank you again, Jah, for giving me this honor today. Blessed Lord.
Such an honor, my sister.
Yes. I don't know which of the two of you will speak first. I think the first man who held the title of the Ganja Liberator.
Farmer don't talk president.
Ganja Liberator.
Greetings,
Yes,
those from here, those from abroad. Minister Chuck, nice to see you. Big up yourself. I want to start by recognizing and saying honor and respect to Ras IFV, the energy behind this, and this is a vision that has taken a lot of effort to manifest, and it's not been an easy road, but it's a very important road that he has trod, and I have had the honor of trying to be as supportive as possible to that road, and I will continue to be so in whatever capacity I may have. Sister Barbara, give thanks for the lovely words of introduction and encouragement. Man, ladies and gentlemen, second annual Rastafari RootzFest festival, and it is the first exempt event ever under Jamaica's reformed laws related to ganja, and it is wonderful that it has happened again this year. And I know that with the fact that High Times that were part of the first one and are not part of this one, it has meant that the organizers have had to put out extra effort to make it happen. And any and all who have played a role in enabling this to take place, I want to say from my personal standpoint, thanks very much. Give thanks for that effort there, because I was very much looking forward to being here this year again. And you know, this industry that Jamaica is trying to build, which is a regulated, lawful industry around the medical and therapeutic cannabis, ganja, and industrial hemp. This is like we're on the cusp of greatness, but it's like we still have some work to do. We have to push out some more effort, because the framework is there. Not saying it's perfect by any means and can always be improved, but it is there. And it is for those who are administering it to do so with the right heart and mind, to make it real and make it work and make it deliver what it can to our people in this country, which need this kind of industry to move forward. And the potential is there internationally. We hear how much $1 billion is involved in the medical marijuana industry in America and other countries. And we in Jamaica know our potential when it comes to ganja. We have the brand, we have the music to back it up to, and we have the Rastafari culture where project it to the world in a righteous way. So we have to give thanks for that. And respect all the Rastaman and all Empress as well. Minister Chuck, glad you come, sir. Because I know this thing that we dropped it, you know. Wasn't what you had in mind. But I want to continue to work with it, because it has great potential. And some great people are there to work with. And listen to them and learn from them, because they have a lot to teach us, you know. And I will always be happy to help in any way, off the air, on the air, to collaborate and move the thing forward, because that's political. So, here we are in Negril. Negril. Perfect weather. A nice Christmas season. You know, Kwanzaa, we want to call it, we're there. And it's lovely. See? So, let us enjoy ourselves and celebrate and give thanks.
I mean, there's very little more I can add. I want to give a Rastafari Sister Barbara. Let me just say that I'm so happy that Mark is here with me. A lot of the credit for the opening up of this marijuana industry in Jamaica, ganja industry, should be given to Mark. Because even though in my short stint I had said that we were going to open it up, most of the work was done by him over the last few years with this legislation. And this legislation that has just been passed, I must admit, it went further than I even thought it would have gone. But it is now, as he says, to be implemented, and I'm doing my very best to make sure that it is balanced, so that all the players in Jamaica can benefit, but we don't breach the international treaties. And so far, the international players are very happy with what we're doing. I can say that the present legislation opens up especially to Ras. All the Ras can smoke them weed, but you must do it in a way that comes within a certain confine. Now let me just explain very carefully. You can grow 5 plants in your yard, but as I'm told, the 5 plants not enough. But a household can be together, you know, next door. So, but once you can say you have it's your household and it's 5 plants, and another is another household, 5 more plants. So it's possible for you to do it, and you can smoke once you're a Rasta, you can smoke your weed without any problem. You can also smoke it in the temple. Once you find a temple, you can smoke it. Where, unfortunately, a lot of you are getting into trouble. To get it from where you buy it, or where you grow it, to the temple or to your home, you need an exemption. Just like how to get the ganja here, you need an exemption, and I give you all the exemption for you to get it here. If you are going to transport it at all, just write me, you get the exemption, I approve it within hours. I know it is a strict law, and you may not agree with it, but it is the law. So let us act under the rule of law. You need the exemption, write me, I approve it. So when the police officer stop you, you have the exemption. Can't trouble you. And I think you see, the fact that we are now allowing all Rastafarians to be able to enjoy the sacrament, it is a major, major step forward. And I think Rastas across Jamaica should be thankful, and as I say, the credit must begin with man. I'm going to try and see how we can develop it even further, because there are a number of churches that need to be regularized. You may have to come on a parliamentary scheme. You can't just declare on your own that this is a temple. So we have to find a proper way that we can declare areas of worship. Whether it comes from parliament or it comes from some other legislation, so that you don't get into any problem with the law. Mark,
you have the power.
I have the power to do it.
You have the power.
But at the moment, I have to exercise the power carefully, right? To make sure that not everywhere. Yeah, but I see how it goes. I have no doubt that the Rastas who have suffered greatly over the decades and should really benefit now from some of this Rasta. And the ganja, it seemed to me, and we have some international universities and some other researchers who are here, it's not only the smoking, which is what I know you do, but the product itself is one of the richest products on earth. And the question is, how do we extract the ingredients so that we can utilize it? Because not many people smoke and can take the smoking. But I know from my youngster growing up in the hills of Clarendon that a lot of people used to boil the ganja and drink the tea, and it cured headache, bellyache. You know, it was a major cure for pain. I didn't do it, but I hear that. So I know the product has a lot of ingredients, good ingredients, and we have to work with international agencies, with the scientific researchers, to see how we can extract the product, put it in vials, put it in sweets, put it in beers, put it in drink, so that the rest of the world can benefit from this great product. So this is what the researchers are looking at, how to utilize it, so that we come within the law. My hope, speaking for myself, I'd legalize it right now, but I can't. I have to come within the international treaties.
Yes.
But we hope over the next few years that step by step we can move forward. Now, I congratulate the organizers of this RootzFest. It's the second one. I know you have challenges, but make it a success, because when it came to me and I heard how successful it was last year, I had no problem, minutes, signing off. So make it a success this year, and next year make it even bigger. Congrats to
all. We know the minister has to move, but we just quickly want to interview 2 speakers briefly. And I don't know if we can ask them any question, but Barbara, I would like to also introduce Professor Nesson from Harvard. He's a Harvard law professor. So we're going to have 3 lawyers here. And there are other lawyers here. So, and we have Dr. Safal from the Oxford University. So just like, quickly, Prof.
Yes. I'd love to introduce you to Professor Charles Nesson. He's a professor of law at Harvard University, Harvard Law School, and who has been a friend of Jamaica, certainly as far as I know, for about 20 years. recently got involved with ganja, which has been something that's been his advocacy. While at Harvard, he came out and said, yes, I smoke ganja, and I think it's a good idea, and has been fighting for those rights ever since, and has come and given his legal support, not just to the Jamaican ganja industry, but to the Rastafari nation, and in particular is a part of Rastafari Unity, which are the producers and presenters of this event. So Professor Nelson, please bless us with
Yes, let me say what a pleasure it is to be here myself, to be here with Fern, to be here with Mark, to be here with Ras IFV, First Man, Sister Mitzi, all the crowd that did it last year, to come back and see it here again, this time just yours. Excellent, excellent. Congratulations, and I hope it's a wonderful event.
Well, Prof. Jumia. But I would like to introduce Dr. Sapal, who is in charge of the Oxford University, who is one of our sponsors. Who, I've known Dr. Sapal for almost 2 years. And I mean, he didn't hesitate when we told him about Rastafari RootzFest this year and not collaborating with High Times. He gave us all his marketing department. And, he can speak for himself in terms of the researches that are being done. But I just want to quickly refer to what Minister Chuck said in terms of Jamaica's obligation to the international, the international regulatory framework that has been established by the United Nations. Being at the UN myself, tracking the whole, history of the international regulation, being at the UN with, former Minister Mark Golding, with Mark Delroy, right? I mean, it opened our eyes to the point to see how much Jamaica is under the microscope, Mr. Chuck. We understand that Jamaica has a so-called narco-producing and in-chance shipment, point. We know that Jamaica is under the microscope, and we know we have to work within that international regulatory framework. But at the same time, we know as a people, as a government, have to sit and chart a course that is beneficial to us at the same time in accordance with that regulatory framework. So again, I say give thanks. Now, let us talk, and we have, if the minister can afford us 3 questions, 2 questions. Yes.
Yeah, I just really quickly just want to say on behalf of Oaksterdam University, I want to first thank Ras IFV for all of you, and the Rastafari RootzFest for not just putting on, but bringing together everybody for this event. Events like this are very important. They're historic. We're honored and humbled to be a part of this, to help bring education. Oaksterdam University is the very first cannabis institution in the United States of America, and we first passed legislation 20 years ago. It's our 20-year anniversary, and there's a lot of challenges. We've made a lot of mistakes, but it takes time. Education is very important. One thing you can't change is time, and it will take time. But Jamaica is a great place, and Ras IFV, you're very right. We're under a microscope here because people follow Jamaica, and what happens here, the rest of the international community will watch. They will follow. We can build a model here and represent and show the rest of the nation. When you think of Jamaica, you think of a lot of great things, and you already have an advantage far beyond a lot of countries. We have sent somebody to Uruguay today to do the same thing, to work with their licensing body, to help with protocol, with standards, to show you the mistakes we've made to move forward. But again, we're honored to bring everybody together to be here, a part of a very special event. Events like this are very important. We need more of them to bring and surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. So thank you very much for inviting us. We're honored to be here. Let's have some fun for Negril, and let's celebrate. Thank
You can have 2 questions.
Yeah, man.
Good afternoon, my name is Kate Lennon. I'm an advocate, I'm a Jamaican. I work closely with Mr. Golding, Ras IFV, Dr. Sapal, and all the people that were here for last year. We welcome you back this year, but I have a question for you, Mr. Chuck.
Sure.
as a Jamaican advocate, we are seeing that the Jamaican farmers are not up to scratch for this international industry. Will you be allowing us to have academic exemption, meaning that when we have our workshops, we can have a couple plans for demonstration and such? Will you be thinking about that? Academic
There's no doubt that the law now provides on the 3 main headings. You have the best heading. Once it's a Rasta festival, once it's a Rasta worship, once it's a Rasta event, you can apply for exemption.
No, this is a non-Rasta.
No, if it is non-Rasta now, you have to come under scientific research or medicinal purposes.
Okay then.
So to the extent that you're using it and demonstrating that you're looking at scientific investigation or for medicinal purpose, you come within the law.
It's mainly training around farmers, getting them up to the standard where they will produce.
No, well, in that case, you see, it could fit nicely into scientific.
Yes.
So that is where the CLA,
Right.
that is the Cannabis License Authority, could give you the additional protection so that you're growing because you want to grow the best ganja.
No, we want to have workshops.
No, the
Yes.
workshops is to assist
Yes.
you in
Yeah,
looking at
assist
how
us,
you make sure you have the best. And I'm sure the CLA would be able to assist you in not only licensing growing, but also licensing what you do with the training and assessment of the ganja. Because all of that can come on the scientific research.
Thank you.
Yes, okay?
We want to pose one more question to Minister. But being here, I'm a part of the CLA board, and I'm glad that the CLA board is here, Mr. Chuck. And your ministry, representatives from your ministry, will be here over the 3 days. So that any question, that mean to the ask of the CLA or from the ministry point of view, they are here and we can ask them questions.
Absolutely.
But, one more question for the minister. Yes.
I heard the professor say that Jamaica can lead the way. We take a short trip backwards. In 1913, Jamaica was the first place to enact a marijuana act in this country. Before England in 1925 and before America in 1928. Now, the Prohibition Act of America was deceptively used to categorize marijuana as a Schedule 1 drug that is physiologically bad and dependent, and all those stigmas have been debunked. What I'm saying now, the 1961 convention is the one that ratified her under this present state. In 1963, the whole world changed. THC and CBN and CBD and all the good things about herb now come to light. That's 2 years after the International Convention. From 1963 right up until 1976, when the World Council of Physicians said there is no reason in the world to persecute marijuana. We have had it very stiff from 1950s coming right up. And when I say stiff, you must know that the wisdom of your law can react upon your people. America incarcerated 4 million people at 48 million years of wasted jail time. Jamaica, from 1950 till 2015, incarcerated hundreds of thousands at the same resource loss. Why? You're criminalizing people for something that is not a crime.
Yeah.
No. What you should do. What you should do.
Yes.
And what I can't understand is with the amount of scientific evidence after 1963 pointing to the 700 compounds in marijuana and the very wide spectrum of assistance it gives to the people. Who has the right to deny our people access to something that is good? Are we going to force the people into a choice, access the medicine or break the law?
No, let me just answer that much brief to that question. I think Rasai will tell you and Mark will tell you that when we went to the United Nations, we really went there with a view, with the hope that marijuana can be moved from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. Because we argued and we have put it up for the next 2019, for the next few years, that it should be reassessed, that marijuana should move from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. And if it goes to Schedule 2, in a sense it will be freedom. But at the moment, the international community, of which we are part of it, have deemed it to be Schedule 1. And while we fight it, we have to respect it. So as far as I can say, I accept and all the pain that has been suffered over the decades, because we participate in the treaty, but we have to respect the treaty. We can withdraw, but there are many consequences of withdrawing. It's not worth withdrawing. There are countries that have breached the treaty and have suffered. So we're asking, let us see the fight, or we can try and move it by 2019 from Schedule 1.
One adjustment to the question. Are you willing, Minister, to accept scientific evidence when it is placed before you that will completely erase?
No, there's no doubt that all the scientific research are now showing that extracted and used in a medicinal, scientific way, not only is it beneficial, but useful. So that scientific research, all of that is converging very slowly. And I think more and more people are now accepting that this is something, the way to go. So the point is that, the question is, can we move ahead of the rest of the world? That is a debatable question.
Mr. Minister, with due respect, sir. The country that has make themselves exempt from the law and do what they do.
No country has been exempt.
No, the country who, alright, then breach the international standard and go their way. What has happened to them now?
They suffer, they become, you see, pariahs.
Like what?
In the international community. To give a good example, in our case, it may well happen that America, the European Union, Canada just withdraw all technical assistance to us.
Uruguay.
Uruguay has suffered a little bit in that they have been sidelined.
Little bit?
They have been sidelined. They have suffered some consequences. The truth of the matter is that Mexico is not withdrawn. Mexico wants to withdraw. But Mexico realized the consequence of withdrawing and are fighting with us to remove from Schedule 1 to 2.
Yeah. To me, as regards cannabis, the international treaty system is in tatters. It is incongruous, it is incoherent, it is divorced from reality.
That's why I asked the question.
As you have Canada about to legalize next year, America doing it through states incrementally. We have done our thing, and we designed our thing very carefully so that we didn't violate.
That's right.
You know, but it's not perfect because the system we're in is an imperfect system. The question really is, at what point will the powers that be in the world really decide to call a spade then? And you know, when we went to the UNGAS in April, it was disappointing, I tell you the truth. It was disappointing to see countries like Russia and certain other countries talking about, you know, treating this thing as something which they will never allow to be reformed. You know, and the way the system is, there's no review provision in those treaties. More modern treaties have a review provision in it that they come up for review periodically. So there's an internal process of seeing if they make sense and they need to be changed. In these treaties that we're talking about, that doesn't exist. So we're kind of locked into a system. But I think as more and more countries move in a particular direction, Jamaica can be emboldened to make a further push. But it's a question of timing and so.
Timing is important.
The next 10 years, so
no, timing is important.
The states, the whole of the states going to be free or nearly free. So what will the federal government do to those states?
Why? Well look, we have a new thing coming in America now. We have a new president in America now. And him have an attorney general who has spoken harshly about ganja. And he has a next man in his administration, I can't remember which one he is, who's you know, so we have to watch it carefully. Because President Obama kind of let the thing go a particular direction through the Cole Memorandum, which allowed states the space to do their own thing, so as long as they didn't break certain principles which were outlined in that memorandum. We have a new president now. We don't really know. He don't say much about ganja, so we don't really know what he's going to do. But we're hoping for the best because the tide of change in America seems to have so much momentum. I don't see how them can pull it back to where it was before.
That's what I want to say. He don't have enough to pull back.
We don't know. We have to watch and see.
I am very, very, very disappointed to hear the minister say.
No, hold on.
One word. I'm very disappointed to hear the minister say that we have to be careful of the mindset of foreign legislators. What we ought to be discussing are the facts, the scientific facts, not the mindset of a man, even though I know we have to encounter it, but that's just to show you the folly of the thing where people who are legislators enact laws that bind other people, and when you look at it, they refuse, like Mark Golden is saying, they refuse to accept scientific evidence right in front of their face. God, what is going to happen? You're going to force the people into a corner that they either can access something that gives them relief and decide to break the law. And that's not good.
No, but it's possible now under the scientific section. Once it comes, if it's for relief, it comes under either medicinal or scientific. So for us, it is wide open.
Yeah.
But we must put ourselves under those categories. We can't put ourselves under the recreational category.
Understand?
Only the Rastas can. You understand? And in fact, even that recreational category has to be seen as sacramental.
It can be seen as sacramental.
Not recreational. So recreational is out. But it can be sacramental, medicinal, scientific.
Thank you.
I want to address the question of banking. You know, the banks and allowing us to use accounts. We had some problems recently. Even the constituted body like the CLA, we pay them in US dollars and now we have to pay back the check. We were told that they now have a bank account.
You can speak
us
up a little louder.
Can we say, okay, Monday morning, let's go and try to get an account open?
No, I think the protocol is being worked out, to see. Because what is happening is that the banking sector, it doesn't know where these funds are coming from. But if it can come within the law to say that the fund is coming, saying the licensing of the particular plantation, licensing of the sale for medicinal, sacramental, the banks so far have not signed on to that protocol, but it has been worked on.
What I'm saying, Minister, at this stage, nobody is planting anything. Nobody is processing.
Yeah, but that is why the bank still has to work out a banking protocol with the CLA and with the growth. Okay.
Okay. If I may add to that, right? When an application comes into the CLA, I mean, having process it go to the FID, which is the Financial Investigation Division. And why is because, just like the Minister explained, you know, to avoid laundering. Now, at the moment, the last meeting that we have about 90 applications that came in. 17 went through the FID already, and are in a position to get what we know as conditional license. Having conditional license, then inspection will take place. If your facility match up to the required standard, then you will get a license. If not, then the recommendation will come what it is that you need to do. But again, just to point out, because there are a lot of us here, but don't realize, but because there are consequences that Jamaica can bear. As a Rasta man, there are times when we used to agitate the legalization of herbs. But realistically, that cannot happen at the moment. We have to take our time and plan, but as a people, we have to push the government. Yeah, we have to push the government. Because just like, you know, government change, but it is something that when you understand the consequences And like I point out, Jamaica is under microscope. So in other words, we have to walk a thin line. And there are things that we can do, but yes, what is going to happen? Bolivia with you, and then from the international convention, and you know the consequences that they have to come back. So, you know, it's something that we need to understand or understand what is the reality of this international, cannabis regime, cannabis market. What are the internal implications of violating these international regulations? So I mean, you know, we just have to take out.
All I can tell you, you have had a former minister and a present minister who are your friends. We want to see it move forward.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, before, free vegan, like so you can do free.
Free vegan, one of the Rastafari mansions, one of the recognized Rastafari mansions from all the time. No frustration. I leave it to you. Your words are words.
So, Brother Mark.
Indeed. Yeah.
First time. I am the priest of February. Louder, Brother Fagan.
As I'm seeking to lift the voice. Yes, I am saying that I am the priest of February School of Bible Study, Prophecy, and Sabbath Worship. One of the mansions, Rastafari. I want to address it in a different way because I realize how difficult, really, both of you were supposed to be in the argument that Rastafari, the ganja issue, and from our point of view, when we look at the herb, what they call ganja, it has many names worldwide. When I read the scripture, what I'm saying, he calls it grass. Psalm 24, verse 20, he calls it grass for the cattle and herb for the servants. And I don't see no confusion when they call the goat and the sheep gone to the vegetarian state. But the problem is, when we, because you see the Rastafari are the advocates, the ganja, meaning from an earlier stage, they use the ganja to criminalize us, stigmatize us, to hold us down. We have never last hope, have given up the fight, and I think that is why we are here today. Now, most of the governments worldwide, they want to hold on to the medicinal properties and the aspect of the ganja, while they all come together to suppress the pleasure aspect, which means the Rasta that sumo. But when I read another Psalms, Psalms 18, verse 8, it says, it says, sumo comes out of his nostril. So the Rasta man told him, says not only the soul that we can use, not the high, etc., but also there's a reason for the smoking of the herb. So in your position now as a current minister, would I like some more alleviation from the pressures and the duress where we have to go through as a people, because they say all the Rasta do is smoke ganja. It is not so, because we are very thankful today for the privilege, and also we should feel proud when you realize what the vast proprieties are. When you look around, when you look around as politicians, you must can see the vast benefits. But I have here and others are in a better position to make the statistic. Colorado, how much millions of dollars they are earning annually, and over people are benefiting. So I would like the in your position, though it is difficult, to use your wise mind to see how we, the people of Jamaica, can benefit out of this lottery, which is a ganja industry, to kind of take us out of our poor and poverty state.
It is being considered.
Yes. Minister Chuck, just one final word from Professor Nestle, please.
The issue of whether cannabis is a Schedule 1 depends on its conception as a dangerous drug. The thing that Rastafari and Jamaica lead with is the concept that ganja is not a dangerous drug. It's actually a traditional part of a traditional culture that's used sacramentally and spiritually. I believe that the vulnerability of this Trump administration could focus on ganja. It's amazing how marijuana was not an issue in the American election. It just neither party. And yet there is a majority of Americans who recognize that ganja is not a dangerous drug. Jamaica at this point has a powerful leadership role in expressing the spirituality of ganja. That's what needs to be convinced to the world. When the world becomes convinced of that, then it goes down the schedule.
Very good point, sir. Thanks.
Yes, give thanks, Minister.
Dr. Thanks again.
Careful.